The English Defence League claims to be neither racist nor bigoted, just anti-Islamist. It has said that its support has grown since the killing of Fusilier Lee Rigby, and grown particularly among Britain's armed forces, past and present. A controversial claim and difficult to substantiate. Today, amid more than 30 arrests at an EDL rally in Birmingham, Channel 4 News put those assertions to the test. Porrick O'Brien reports.
The EDL rally in Birmingham today was the biggest they've had in some time. Aside from that, it was the standard fare, the pre-demo booze-up. The leaders' lengthy speeches. The aggro. The EDL say that since Woolwich, their ranks have swollen with serving soldiers. But have they? 4 years ago, a few months after the EDL was formed, I was invited to one of their inaugural press conferences in a disused warehouse in Luton.
We're meeting some of the Luton division. There's some of them there. Luton division of EDL up here.
Back then they wore balaclavas, including the leader, Stephen Yaxley-Lennon, aka Tommy Robinson. It was all very odd. They burnt a swastika on camera eventually. The message, we're not Nazis.
Somebody described EDL as a drinking club with a website.
In the intervening 4 years, the drinking club with a website started to implode. It lacked political focus. Counter-terrorism successes took the edge off. Then, Woolwich happened. Are you a serving soldier?
Yeah.
How do we know you're a serving soldier? We checked his ID and believe it to be genuine. Are there many soldiers here today?
There's loads.
How do you know?
More than you could ever imagine. Because I've spoke to them all.
Have you been a supporter of EDL for a long time? Or?
I've been a member of the English Defence League since Lee Rigby got killed. I don't do what...
One soldier slightly the worse for wear doesn't prove a phenomenon, of course. British soldiers are well trained and tend to be a pretty apolitical bunch. But Lee Rigby's death has made a big impression.
For me, it was kind of, this is the last straw, we've got these extremist Muslims who are going out, butchered one of our lads.
This man served in Iraq and Afghanistan. He left the army last year. He's asked us not to show his face for fear he'd become a target. According to the EDL, there's been a spike in support among soldiers.
What surprised me very much was the amount of, serving and ex-serving soldiers at the demonstration showing the support.
Serving soldiers as well.
Serving soldiers as well.
How is the solution to Islamist extremism this kind of extremism? It's like they're as bad as each other.
Well, I disagree. I think, the reason why they're out marching is because nobody's willing to tackle the problem.
It's in the EDL's interest to overstate levels of support within the armed forces, of course, and there's no definitive way of gauging it. That said, using a new feature on Facebook called Graph Search, we've cross-referenced people who have registered a like of the EDL Facebook page with those who describe themselves as working at the British Army. Our results come with a health warning. Even though many of the profile pictures show the person in fatigues, for example, we can't verify that each one in fact works in the forces. That said, the results are telling. Hundreds and hundreds of profiles of people who say they work in the army who like the EDL. Too many to count. This man is one of them. He just liked the EDL before Woolwich. After it, he became actively involved. One of his reasons for this is a sad one. Diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome, he says the EDL gave him the support he couldn't find elsewhere.
I begged for help and there's nothing there. I've had to do everything myself. Luckily, I've got back on my feet,
And to a certain extent, did the English Defence League step into that gap for you in terms of support?
Yeah, support, not financially, just
moral support.
Yeah, just moral support, just being there, and just, the lads talk to you, it lifts your spirits up a bit, and it has helped. It has helped.
Nobody at the Ministry of Defence wanted to talk to us about this today. As you would expect, people are anxious to talk it down. But MOD insiders have told us that there is, and I quote, some concern within the MOD about EDL membership within the armed forces. The MOD guidance is clear. Soldiers are entitled to their beliefs and can attend political meetings, but not in uniform. But anyone who falls short of the force's high standards or commits an offence is dealt with. Why should we care, though, if a soldier is in the EDL? It matters because the armed forces serve on behalf of everyone in this country. It matters if some soldier returns damaged in some way from a war abroad. And it matters if something snaps and he decides to bring a battle home.
And I'm joined now by Porrick O'Brien from Birmingham. Porrick.
Katie, I should say we agonised over that report today, and we agonised over it because of the professionalism of our armed forces. We agonised over it because it is in the English Defence League's interest to overstate that case. But at the end of the day, former senior military personnel confirmed to us that this is a genuine concern, a genuine worry, both at the MOD and at the Home Office. And finally, just by way of context, it is worth remembering that the EDL is, at the end of the day, a small organisation. Our armed forces, a large organisation. So even though we don't know the numbers, we are probably still talking about a small minority.
Thanks, Porrick. And 5 prison officers have been suspended